All right, we are back. I couldn't figure out how to pause it, so I shut it off. But my dad stopped by because the gloves came to his house. So now, who's worried about getting stung? Not me. Of course, now they've arrived when I'm almost done, but whatever. All right, let's see if we can't get these girls to go back in. Yeah, look at that. Just a little touch of smoke, and right back down they go. So now, shoot, now I have to learn how to work wearing gloves again. I gotta admit, they feel weird. I mean, they feel like gloves, don't get me wrong. But I'm just, oh, don't be yelling at me. Y'all are fine. They don't like them either. Did y'all see that? Oh, look at that. This frame came apart. It's nailed. Oh no, it's not. The nail bent. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, they are not liking that these gloves, huh? Let's see if we can't deal with the scent. Maybe that's what it is. Let's get them to start smelling like a beekeeper's gloves instead of leather. No, they didn't like them. Still. All right, that's got pollen in it. All right. Last one. Nope, loads of pollen. All right, so I think what we're going to do and since they don't have any larvae in here, how they go back together isn't all that as critical. So I'm just going to stick this exterior frame, or the frame that I took out, I'm going to just put it right back in here in that empty spot. And then what I think I'm going to do because we don't have a yeah, I don't think we have a clean excluder on this one, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take this one off and put one of the other two down, and then I'll put this one up onto the top. That way if she does move up, she moves up into all this empty space and she doesn't go up into the honey supers. It's got a little bit of weight to it. There's the bottom board. How cool is that? You always want to try to, as much as you can, slide your supers into place to avoid crushing as many bees as you can. Understand that they are not, as you can see, they are not going to cooperate. But you still want to try. Oh, man. Y'all should see them on this one. Yeah, that one's a lot lighter. Got good weight to it, but still lighter. Oh, shoot. Look at them coming up into the edge. Blast it. All right. Now we have to work on our spacing. That didn't get done the last time, or at least they shifted. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again just in case you haven't heard. We have 10 frames in the food and brood chambers. Those are the supers that belong to the bees. They contain their food and their brood. And then we have 9 frames in what we call the honey supers. Notice the distinction. Yes, their food is honey. However, in their food chamber, that honey is their food. So the distinction is in the honey supers, that's for us. So, in the food and brood chambers, we have 10 frames because we're not going to be cutting the caps off of those. So we want them to, excuse me, we want them to have as much space as possible to store food that they are going to have access to, and for the queen to lay her eggs for brood. So we give them a full 10 frames in those supers. But then in the honey supers, the one that we're going to harvest, as much for, I got to walk in front of you guys, sorry about that. As much for the weight of the super as anything, we only give them 9 frames. We give them 9 frames because they will build that comb out past the frame. It makes it easier for us to cut the caps off in order to extract the honey. So to do that though, we have to make sure our spacing is sufficient. And you don't want things in there crooked either. This one has spacers, so I don't have to worry about it. I know y'all can't see in there anymore because of how high it's gotten, but I'm just closing them up anyway. There you go. All right, so there we have it. We did not find the queen. I took my glove off in order to be able to manipulate the camera, touch the screen and give it commands and all that kind of stuff. And boy, they were all over it. So I am putting this glove back on. All right, so there you have it. We were able to go through that entire hive. We were not able to find the queen. She is in there. We have seen the egg, we've seen the young larva, so we know she's in there. We know that she's laying. We also know that she doesn't want to be found, so she is hiding from us. That's fine. When the time comes, come summertime, once we get into that, what is that? June 17th, so we're just, we're what, a week and a half away. We'll go back in there and we'll do our splits, which means that we will hopefully then when we're doing our splits, because they're more, we're breaking them down even further, we'll have our queen in one and then we'll have egg and / young larva in the others. From that egg and young larva, they will choose new queens to raise. And we're going to do that for several of our hives. This one for, oh, dang, I just got stung in the glove. This one for sure, because she was such a prolific layer. We want to make sure we use that. It's also one of only 2 hives this season that has produced any honey whatsoever. So we know that these are some really hard workers. We want those traits moving, going into our new hives for next season as well. So we definitely want to raise some queens from her. So we'll be getting some larva and egg from this hive. We'll start raising queens from them. We got 2 other hives for sure that we want to raise some queens from. They are the breeder queens. We've spent a lot of money getting those. A lot of money, a lot of time, all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that we raise some queens from those mothers as well. The rest of them will find the queens, we'll dispatch them. They will get new queens from these 3 that we have selected. And then that's how we will produce our strong hives going into this winter. Then the big idea is we want as many of those hives as we can get through the winter as survivor queens. And then next year with that really strong stock, that's what we go into that honey season with. And we start this process all over again. So it's really exciting. It's a very active time to be a beekeeper. I am out at the bee yard, as you've seen from the Facebook Live videos. If you spend any time on my TikTok or even on Instagram, you'll see that I post videos there as well. If you spend any time there, you know that I'm out here a lot, which is great. Doing what I do now allows me the time to be able to afford to be able to come out to the bee yard. When I was working in the restaurant industry, I didn't have time. 70 hours a week, you're at the office, and when you're not at the office, you're exhausted, and so you just go home and veg out. Now, doing real estate, I get to stay busy doing that. I could be busier though, so if you've got a house or somebody who's looking for a house or looking to sell their house in the entire state of Kentucky, send them my way. I'd be more than happy to help them out if they just want to see what their house may, or if you want to just see what your house may be worth. We could do evaluation that way. I've got the tools for that. I could help you out. But that allows me to stay busy with real estate, and at the same time, I've got more time to be able to come out here and spend at the bee yard, which is, quite frankly, the happiest place on earth. I don't care what those other people say. Second happiest would be the gun range. Let's face it. Let's be real. So anyway, so I get to be there. I get to be here. I get to do this a lot more, which is great. And this time of year, if you've ever done any beekeeping at all, even when you don't have a huge crop coming in like we're dealing with this year, you're still busy as all get out. So here we are. This is what we've got. We've got 3, 5, 6, 7 hives right now that we will be breaking down into more hives going into winter. The intention is to hit it. We also have a nook, but we won't be breaking that nook down. It's already been broken. It's already been broken down into what it's going to be. So we have 7 hives that we're going to break down, plus 1 nook that is what it's going to be. So 8 total colonies right now, where the expectation is we'll break these down really hard and go into winter with 30 hives. We will not come out of winter with 30 hives. We know that. Anybody who's ever done beekeeping before can tell you that naturally, so out in the wild, and thus even in our bee yard, because we try to be as natural with that as we possibly can, you can expect a 30% loss of honeybees. That is nothing to freak out about. It is what is. It is the way that they procreate. It is the way that they weed out the weak. They simply die, right? So our job is to make these girls as strong as we possibly can going into winter. We give them every available opportunity for them to be strong and to survive the winter, and we lose 25 to 30% of the colonies anyway. So we want to go in with a lot of them. That way that 30% doesn't hit us as hard, right? So anyway, we will continue to see what happens, right? Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned quite a lot. I am going to risk another sting by taking this glove off so I can press the finish button. These gloves are new, so they're tight. Anyway, thanks for joining. We will see you guys next time. Also, don't forget, please like and follow me on TikTok. I'm going to be uploading this and the previous live onto my new YouTube page. So go head over there, give it a subscribe, take a look at the other videos that I already have posted there. And as always, please don't hesitate. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. You can send me a message. Let me know what you'd like to see when it comes to the bees, and I'd be more than happy to address that as well. Don't forget, if you have any real estate questions, come my way. I'm always willing to help out. I'll be usually at the office at Realty Advanced in Louisville off of Hurstbourne. So come see me, give me a call, whatever it takes. We'll talk soon.